1,
I was brought up in the countryside, so we had a really big garden, and one summer my brothers and sisters and I built a fantastic tree house.
2,
When I was 5 years old, I learned to ride a bike, and my dad every weekend would take me around the block on it.
3,
One of the things I remember from my childhood was when we had our pocket money, and then myself and my brother would go to the sweet shop, and we would spend our 50 pence each, and we would be able to get bags and bags of sweets.
4,
The house I grew up in was on the same street as the library. So after school and at the weekends, I used to spend all my time reading in the library.
5,
During my childhood, I spent every weekend at the beach because my grandparents lived there.
1,
I was brought up in the countryside, so we had a really big garden, and one summer my brothers and sisters and I built a fantastic tree house.
2,
When I was 5 years old, I learned to ride a bike, and my dad every weekend would take me around the block on it.
3,
One of the things I remember from my childhood was when we had our pocket money, and then myself and my brother would go to the sweet shop, and we would spend our 50 pence each, and we would be able to get bags and bags of sweets.
4,
The house I grew up in was on the same street as the library. So after school and at the weekends, I used to spend all my time reading in the library.
5,
During my childhood, I spent every weekend at the beach because my grandparents lived there.
I grew up in the countryside, in the kind of the middle of North Carolina, which is on the east coast of the United States. And yeah, it was a great life actually, growing up in the countryside. When I was a kid, I spent most of my time outside in the woods, camping, hiking, hunting various things, fishing. I think I had my first, I had my own fishing gear and my own kind of pellet gun and all my own camping gear probably by the age of 10. And it was our escape as children. To get away from our parents for the weekend, we would go camping in the woods all weekend, and everyone was perfectly okay with that. That's normal where I come from, and I think your parents are quite happy to see you off for the weekend. And as a child, it's brilliant to have your independence, even if it is in the middle of the woods. But yeah, we had a lot of interesting wildlife there. So I spent most of my childhood trying to catch snakes and crayfish and various creatures that live in the woods. So it was a colorful childhood, quite a contrast, I think, to people who live in the city. For me, even today, it's interesting when I think of people who put so much effort into making a camping trip for the weekend or something. And I know that just as a 12-year-old boy, I could pack a backpack and survive all weekend in the woods on very little. So yeah, it was a very different kind of life than I think most people are used to, but it was a healthy lifestyle. And yeah, I hope that if I have kids one day that they'll have the same opportunity. I grew up in the countryside, in the kind of the middle of North Carolina, which is on the east coast of the United States. And yeah, it was a great life actually, growing up in the countryside. When I was a kid, I spent most of my time outside in the woods, camping, hiking, hunting various things, fishing. I think I had my first, I had my own fishing gear and my own kind of pellet gun and all my own camping gear probably by the age of 10. And it was our escape as children. To get away from our parents for the weekend, we would go camping in the woods all weekend, and everyone was perfectly okay with that. that's normal where I come from, and I think your parents are quite happy to see you off for the weekend. And as a child, it's brilliant to have your independence, even if it is in the middle of the woods. But yeah, we had a lot of interesting wildlife there. So I spent most of my childhood trying to catch snakes and crayfish and various creatures that live in the woods. So it was a colorful childhood, quite a contrast, I think, to people who live in the city. For me, even today, it's interesting when I think of people who put so much effort into making a camping trip for the weekend or something. And I know that just as a 12-year-old boy, I could pack a backpack and survive all weekend in the woods on very little. So yeah, it was a very different kind of life than I think most people are used to, but it was a healthy lifestyle. And yeah, I hope that if I have kids one day that they'll have the same opportunity.
I grew up in Hong Kong. It's a big city, Hong Kong, and I've always liked cities. We lived in a little house, a bungalow, so I had no upstairs and just a downstairs. And it was on the edge of the city and had a little garden, which is quite unusual for Hong Kong because most of Hong Kong is lots of big flats. I really loved it. The weather was just beautiful. So because it was warm, you were outside most of the year, just playing in the garden and things. We had lots of friends there, and I'm from a big family. I'm one of 6 children. So there were always children to play with, and we were always outside swinging on swings or playing in the garden. I liked going into the city too. Hong Kong's got so many wonderful markets, and that's where we used to do all our shopping for food or clothes, just to walk around the markets and look at all the vegetables and choose different fish and things for dinner. It was a lovely life. I really enjoyed it. I grew up in Hong Kong. It's a big city, Hong Kong, and I've always liked cities. We lived in a little house, a bungalow, so I had no upstairs and just a downstairs. And it was on the edge of the city and had a little garden, which is quite unusual for Hong Kong because most of Hong Kong is lots of big flats. I really loved it. The weather was just beautiful. So because it was warm, you were outside most of the year, just playing in the garden and things. We had lots of friends there. And I'm from a big family. I'm one of 6 children. So there were always children to play with, and we were always outside swinging on swings or playing in the garden. I liked going into the city too. Hong Kong's got so many wonderful markets, and that's where we used to do all our shopping for food or clothes, just to walk around the markets and look at all the vegetables and choose different fish and things for dinner. It was a lovely life. I really enjoyed it.